Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. And in today's video, we'll try to understand two questions. What exactly is a forward deployed engineer and what skill we need to get into this kind of role? So there are many people who are working in this role or similar kind of role, but the name or the designation of that role is very different. They would be not knowing that they are already playing the role of a forward deployed engineer. So in this video, we'll try to exactly understand in a very simple way, like what is FD. Now consider one scenario, like your client has brought a very good and super AI product. Now the problem is client cannot directly use this AI product in their use case, in their data scenarios. So who is going to help the client to use or make this AI product useful in their scenario? So there we need someone, we call it a FDE, forward deployed engineer, who will understand the business of the client, who will understand the data and structure of the client, who will understand more of the pipeline and more of the things, how it has been already done in the client environment, and then try to modify the existing AI product which the client has bought or create an intermediate product or intermediate framework that will bridge the gap between the AI product and the existing scenario. So we need someone who can mold the AI product into the client scenario or the client particular use case. And there we need an FDE, forward deployed engineer. In the existing scenario of the client, the data structure may be different. The security, the guardrails, and how the problem or the pipeline is built is very different, or how it is being reported is very different. So in that case, we cannot use any generic AI product. We have to import that generic AI product and then do some changes or create some framework, write some code, deploy it and monitor it and put a proper security and guardrails around it. So FD owns the things from the requirement to the business to writing and implementing and deploying it. So FD has to be from the first phase of the building or first phase of the requirement to the end phase of the deployment and the cut over. So now the company requires a person who understands everything. Obviously, FD cannot be a junior role. FD need to be a senior person role. Mainly the person who has more than 10, 12 years of experience in mostly in data engineering role. So that kind of person is very suitable to become a FD. FD should know how to design the system. FD should know how to implement the system. FD should know how to deploy the system. And more importantly, FD should know how to write the code. So if you are above 15 years of experience or above 12 years of experience, you should still practice how to write the code, especially in Python language if you are if you are already a data engineer. Now consider this. In a traditional software engineers, they will build the product, give the product to the customer, and then that is done. But in the forward deployed engineer, you should understand the customer problem, talk to the business person, talk to the BA. In fact, I don't think you will need a constant BA here. You need to talk to the business person directly, client, design the solution, write the code, connect to the customer system, deploy it, and solve the real problem. Obviously, a single person is not going to do everything, but a single or a couple of person is going to overlook everything, look into this as an overview, and help the team to get into everything. So FD will be responsible for each of the phases. Although the writing the code, the FD and the other engineers together will do it. Connecting the custom systems, that things, the whole team will do it. But understanding the customer problem, understanding the existing AI system or creating a new AI agentic system for the customer problem is done by the FD. Now you can see earlier the FD was only building the product and giving it to the customer. But now FD is in the each phase from the requirement gathering to the deployment. In fact, to the cutover phase, FD should be there. So now companies is like, because what happens now, the AI has come into the picture. There are multiple AI product coming into the market, and company just don't want people to showcase the POC on the AI or solving a small problem with the help of a RAG pipeline. Company is looking for someone who understand the business and connect their existing business to the AI solution. If the AI solution is not able to bring the profit to their business or adding more advantage to the business, then there is no point of bringing AI into the business or the client system. So FD has to be very technical and very solution oriented. Plus, FD has to have a domain knowledge also. When I say a business problem, I mean to say domain knowledge. It's like FD can be good at insurance domain, banking domain, retail domain. So anyone who is having more than 12 or 15 years of experience, try to get the domain knowledge as well when you work with any of the client. Yeah, that is always going to help you. That is always going to make you techno functional, and that will create a very good opportunity for you to get into forward deployed engineers. When you go through the LinkedIn or a Naukri.com, you will not see that FD word is written everywhere, but a similar kind of JD is always there. Last few years, I am seeing that similar kind of JD is always circulated where it is required a person to get into each phase. Okay, so that is actually a forward deployed engineers. The terms or the meaning can be different, but it exists. It still exists in our system. Okay, now look into this. Forward deployed engineers, where all the footprint of the forward deployed engineers will lay out. This is the software engineering field. This is a data and AI engineering, and this is a solution architect. Now, the forward deployed engineers will have the knowledge of everything. Obviously, a person who is a solution architect should have gone through a software engineering phase, should have gone through data, may not be AI engineering, but as the data engineers. And that solution architect should have all this knowledge intact. Okay. Now, getting into everything, and then on the top of this, you should understand the existing client business. And there you will be able to understand or solve the problem of the customer and then deploy everything as a package in a customer environment. So if you, in a single term, FD is engineer plus problem solver plus builder. Problem solver means a solution architect. So now if a person is an architect in any of the organization, so earlier in the traditional way that the persons would be working on the proposal, POV, creating the architecture flow, and then give it to the team to implement it. But for the FD role, the architect has to create the design plus talk to the business to understand more of a business problem. Then it has to talk to the existing team to guide the team that how it can be implemented and how it can be deployed, how the cutover strategy has to be taken place, how a existing report should move from the existing source to the new source or a new target. So everything has to be owned by FD. FD can be a group of team, it can be a single person, but obviously there has to be a very good and very efficient team on the back of FD to control or to have it implemented in the client system. Okay, now by this time you would have understood what FD is and what people are talking about FD role. Now, to become an FD, if you are an existing data engineer, then it's bit easy. Or always the journey will be it's a long journey. You have to understand multiple things. But if you are a data engineer and you are already acting as a role of architect, then it's bit easy for you to get into FD. You have to just connect all the dots, get into few more skills, add few more of the skills in your portfolio, and then you'd be good to go get into forward deployed engineer. So the first thing is you should have a strong programming skill. By strong programming skill, I don't mean that you have to be excellent in data structure. You have to be excellent in learning algorithms, writing algorithms, but you should be very good in understanding Python, SQL, at least a couple of programming language. You should be good at compiling it, debugging it. You should be good at actually writing functional code, not just a data structure code or algorithm. You should be good at understanding that how that code can be deployed and to understand as a full module. So focus on the SQL. Obviously, SQL is going to be very important. It was always important. Getting into Python language is also very important. Getting into Python language is also important. So just practice some of the programming skills if you would have left programming few years back. Then the other thing is API integration skill. Why this API integration skill is important? Because you have to integrate something to the existing system of the client, or you have to create some framework which will be integrating or which will be communicating to the existing client system. So for that, API is a must. You should know everything about API, the kind of API. Like in Python, there's a fast API. You should know what is fast API. You should know how to write the code for fast API. All the kind of API. You should understand where the API role will come into picture, where the API role will not come into the picture. You should understand it deeply and how to integrate the system. Like there is a system A interacting with system B. So how that API chain will help in doing the integration, how the security portfolio can be put into that place so that your API call is secure and efficient. So this has to be, this is more than the strong programming skill. I would suggest like API integration skill needs to be there. I think it needs to be with anyone who is having 12 years, more than 12 years of experience in data engineering. The other is data engineering skill. Like you have already worked on data engineers and you become an architect. So you have to revise few of the things and you have to get into add few of the skills, the new skills which has come up like Snowflake warehouse or Databricks. Any one of it will be useful for you. Getting clear with the distributed computing. So you should understand what is distributed computing and how it is coming into big data engineering, and how which on the tools and which on the technology is going to help you in the distributed computing. Your fundamentals of a data engineer's engine should be very strong, because data is something, if you don't work with the data properly, it will be very painful in the later point of time when you are going to deploy the project, or when the project is live and after a few months that is going to give a problem. So understanding data, understanding the pain point of the data, understanding the bottleneck of the pipeline, you have to have a data engineering skill. The fourth thing is cloud and deployment skill. Nowadays, everything gets into the cloud, be it a small client, bigger client, anything. So cloud experience, AWS, Azure, GCP, anything is very important. I would suggest get into two of the cloud skill set. Like if you are already in AWS, get into GCP. If you're already in Azure, get into GCP or add AWS. Have two cloud in you, and that is very good, because multiple client is now going through cloud to cloud migration with the help of some AI tools assisting that. So there you will be very useful. You will be, that is more chances you are going to get a job in that kind of role. The fifth is AI and GenAI skill. All that's a new things, but most of the thing has been settled down, like rack pipeline, MCP protocol, the LLM call, which model to choose, how to add the security into AI, what are the guardrails you need to put, how to evaluate the AI pipelines. For all this thing, I've already created a video, but you have to be very good in this. Not only POC, you have to take some of the real time or the bigger data set from the Kaggle website. You can have the bigger data set and try to do some POC on that. Try to write code on that, or get an help from ChatGPT or any of the tool model to help you to write that code, understand it, deploy it. Then you will have a much more confidence in an AI and GenAI skill. Without that, it's very difficult. AI, GenAI skill, I think everything is important, but obviously GenAI has become like it has been proven in multiple of the pipelines. So you need to have that skill. System design and architecture. If you're already in architecture, you should understand the system design architecture. By this, I mean, getting into any problem statement of the client, you should understand what is the existing scenario. You have to ask what is the problem area and try to break the problem area so that you can get into the solution more precise and more efficient way. So system design, I'm not asking you to get into a system design of Ola, Uber, or any kind of streaming pipeline, but you should understand how the system works, how the storage works, how the pipeline works. If you're a data engineer's architect, then you should understand how the pipeline works, how the observability monitoring system work, and how AI can be leveraged into these kind of fields to have the system design of that particular pipeline in a better way. And the same things goes for the architect. I hope by this time you would have understood what is FD, what is required from FD, which kind of experienced person can get into FD, and what are the generic skill which is required into FD. Get all these things sorted. So this is a simplified way I have put it here. Okay, forward deployed engineers, and you should know all the engineering skill. Python, API, Git. Obviously, this will come into your role, your data and AI system, your deployment system, and then there's a system design, and you have to build a real solution. If you're already acting as an architect, senior architect, you'd be understanding what these things mean. If you want the more details of the each of the technical points, then you can connect to me, and you can get into my previous video. You can post your comment or doubt in the comment section. Do subscribe to my channel. This is what is FD, nothing more, nothing less. Get into the topics, try to learn all this thing, add it, brush up your skills, and you're ready for the FD. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye and thank you.